Greetings, I'm Doc V. This is going to be a short message, sermonette, whatever you want to call it. I have a student. We've got a very positive student-teacher relationship. He does his work. He comes and talks to me, asks questions. He's an Indian young man. Long, curly black hair, tall, handsome young man, teenager. Anyway, he did not see me standing behind him, and he was just using the N-word over and over again, just blurting it out. And I was shocked. I was like, does he know what he's doing? Does he know what he's saying? And he turned around and he looked at me, and his eyes were real big, and he was like, "Oh, Dr. Shores, I'm sorry. I said, "Was that you? Was that you, young man?" And he said, "Yeah, I said, "I'm disappointed." So I walked away from him, and he sat down in his seat, kind of put his head down. I kind of let it go, and went on and taught the class. And the next day, after the class was over, he found me and he walked up to me and he said, "Dr. Shores, I'm so sorry." I said, "What was going on? What were you thinking about? You know what I feel about racism and bullying and people undercutting one another. What's going on?" And he said, "Well, Dr. Shores," he said, "I hear the black kids saying it all the time. They laugh and joke and they just say N-word, 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 and they run around like it's nothing. So I just felt, well, if they don't care, well, I don't care. I can just start talking and using the N-word because it's like I thought it was a bad word and people hated it, but the blacks use it. The blacks use it all the time. What is it? I don't understand." And I was like, you're right. This word has negative connotations. Back from slavery, from civil rights, it's just not a good word to use. And I agree with you. Why do our people use it as a term of endearment? That could be confusing, and I understand that. He said, "Yes, he said, I don't understand." I said, "We'll talk later. We'll talk about it later." And he went on. I said, "It's okay." We did the little knuckle bump. I let him go on. So I say that to say this. Why do we use the word? Now, I understand it being a term of endearment. Matter of fact, I've got some comrades that I work with, some musicians that I work with, some co-workers that I know, some people at the gym that I know, and they use it as a term of endearment. And I can understand the confusion that might arise when someone outside of the black culture uses this term in a derogatory way. So is this a term we need to maintain in our vocabulary? Is this something we need to keep as something that is ours? Or is this something that we need to lose? Do we need to get rid of this? What do you think? Right now, in our economy or in the government, there's what we call the government shutdown. I've been trying to study it and trying to understand the political aspects of it and how this is affecting the political party and their futures and also the people that support these political parties. And I am not ready to summarize or conclude. This is a little bit complicated, but I will say this. It's kind of like a chess game or a checker game or a board game where one side is using their power, using the system of checks and balances to cause people that support a particular party to suffer. The Democrats are suffering through this, and the Republicans are suffering also. It's kind of like who is going to suffer the most, or who can take the most before something needs to be done. It's very interesting. And I'm going to be talking about this on a future broadcast. But in summary, let's go back to our culture and our communities and the use of the N-word. Is it confusing to other races, to the whites, to the Indians, to the Asians, to the Hispanics? Is it confusing when blacks use the N-word as a term of endearment? What do you think? We'll talk about this in a later broadcast. I'm Doc V, and I'll see you next time.